Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from Group 2, Patrick Tanjaya, Marcella Dwi Lestari, and Nurhikma Arjuliani Iskandar. For today, we are going to present about the intrinsic and extrinsic element on an outcast of the islands novel by Joseph Conrad. Okay, first, the intrinsic element. The theme in this novel is about the journey of an employee is unscrupulous and irresponsible for what he is done. For the point of view that used in this novel is first person and third person. Next, plot exposition. The beginning of the story is when Williams was found by Tom Lingard. Williams came when he was 17. He said to Tom that he didn't want to go home. He wanted to get money, so Tom decided to invite Williams and gave him a job. Rising action. Williams married a woman from the De Souza's family, Joanna De Souza. But Williams had embezzled money in Hoodich and Co., and that illegal thing was exposed. Williams had a big fight with his wife Joanna. Williams is expelled from Hoodich and Co. After he was expelled, he went to find Lingard that was sailing on that time. While he was waiting, he met Aisa. He was very interested to Aisa and he decided to marry Aisa. Climax. After he married Aisa, he was realized he was being set up by Aisa's father, Omar. Omar and Babalachi worked together and devised a plan to kill Williams. Williams quickly sought out Lingard to get help, but rather than help him, he beat Williams and said that Williams is his fault. Following action, Almayer saw what happened to Williams, worried that it would happen to him too. So Almayer decided to invite Joanna to bring Williams back, but unfortunately he cannot help. Williams died, he was killed. Resolution. Williams solved his problem with trying to be parasite to Lingard. He always escapes with his problem. Then he wants Lingard to help him like what Lingard do at the first time. Next is the character and characterization. First, Peter Williams. Peter Williams is the main character in An Outcast of the Island novel. He ran away from a Dutch East Indiaman in Samarang routes and came to Makassar when he was 17. Then he works at Hoodich & Co. He gets that job from Tom Lingard that find him. The second is Joanna de Souza. Joanna de Souza from the Souza family is Peter Williams' wife. She was married with Williams by her father, the owner of Hoodich & Co. She was afraid with her husband because Williams had been embezzling money at Hoodich & Co. Joanna was afraid and didn't believe in Williams. The third, Louis Williams. Louis Williams is the little son of Peter Williams and Joanna de Souza, an innocent little child who doesn't know anything yet and always sleeps peacefully. The fourth, Leonard de Souza, is Joanna de Souza's brother and Peter Williams' brother-in-law. He is from the de Souza family. Leonard always protects his sister, although she has a husband. He is a respectable man of very good family. He always tries to make Williams didn't do the violin. Next, Mr. Fink. Mr. Fink is a cashier at Hoodich& Co. He is mysterious and he cannot be trusted because he can't tell anyone what he knows. He had the main character here. He had Williams and he was trying to get rid of Williams because Williams knows something about him. Tom Lingard. Tom Lingard was a master, a lover, and a servant of the sea. The sea took him young, fashioned him body and soul, gave him his fierce aspect, his loud voice, his fearless eyes, his stupidly guileless heart. He is kind, helpful, and also the best solver. The seventh, Caspar Almayer, is a Lingard business partner. Almayer had married a Malay girl, whom the old seaman had adopted, but the marriage wasn't happy. He is a hard worker like Lingard. He is also very trustworthy of Lingard as his business partner. He is smart and too cautious. Next, Babalatchi. Babalatchi is a vagabond with one eye. He was a bad man. He has bad intention to Williams. He and Omar worked out a plan to kill Williams. The ninth, Lakamba. Lakamba is soldier of war. He helps Babalachi to set up and do the plan to kill Williams. He had slaves and many wives, and much merchandise, and trading prose, and prose for fighting. He was a great fighter in the days before the breath of the merciful put out the light in his eyes. He was a pilgrim and had many virtues. He was brave, his hand was open, and he was a great robber. Next, Patalolo. Patalolo is king in Sambir. He is kind, wise, and helpful. Omar el-Badafi. Omar is Aisa's father. He is blind Arab chief, one of the bad men that won his daughter husband die. Omar lived in Odor of Sun City under the wing of Patalolo. Aisa. Aisa is the daughter of the blind Omar el-Badafi. She was beautiful. She can make Williams fall in love with her, who already have a wife and child. Then she makes Williams marry her, but after that she knows that Williams had married and had a child. Next, Sheikh Abdullah bin Salim is prosperous Muslim trader and distant relative of Omar, son of the rich Sheikh Salim bin Saleh, the great Mohammedan trader of the Straits. He went forth at the age of 17 on his first commercial expedition as his father's representative on board a pilgrim ship chartered by the wealthy Arab to convey a crowd of pious Malays to the Holy Shrine. He was very handsome and carried his small head high with meek gravity. His lofty brow, straight nose, and narrow, dark face, with its chiseled delicacy of feature, gave him an aristocratic appearance which proclaimed his pure descent. Nina is child from Almere. Ali is Almere assistant who is Malaysian. Next is the setting. The setting of place in this novel is Makassar and Pantai, and the setting of the time in this novel is around the end of 18th century until 19th century. And for the setting of atmosphere in this novel is happy, serious, and depressed. Next, the conflict. The internal conflict in this novel is for the first time in his life, he felt afraid of the future because he had lost his faith, the faith in his own success, and he had destroyed it foolishly with his own hands. The external conflict in this novel is between the man versus society and the man versus man. And for the last intrinsic element is the message. There are three messages here that belong to the story. First is against all stereotypes. There is no room for us to compare the white people with people that are white. We're all same, just genetic being distinguished. The second message is don't be a parasite. If people give you their trust, you should try not to let them down because give the trust is hard to come by. Learn to be responsible for what has been taken. And the last message is when there is a problem, we shouldn't run away from it. No matter how big your problem, it will solve by yourself. We just choose. We choose to control problem or the problem control us. And for the extrinsic element, we choose to use psychoanalysis approach. He disapproved of the elementary dishonesty that dips the hand in the case box, but one could evade the laws and push the principle of trade to their furthest consequence. From the above, it is clear that there is an aberration. Williams took an ache of dishonesty by darning the money. He had shifted the burden of his youthful vagaries on the shoulder of his confidential clerk, and while he worked for the master had cheated him, had stolen his very self from him. From the quotation above, it shows that psychoanalysis is a behavioral deviant for humans, shown by the master who fooled Judith. In that way, and impelled by that motive, Almayer had hated many and various persons at various times. We can see from the quotation above that it is also what causes aberrant behavior. It starts with hate, then with intention, and ends up doing something that shouldn't be done for the sake of what one wants to be. And now here you steal again. From the quotes above, we note that to steal is an element of psychoanalysis as an aberration of human behavior. He struck his fist on the rail of the balustrade to show how he would kill Williams. He wanted me to kill that white man, and of one brother killing another for the sake of a guard of water. From the above, it shows that there is a great deal of aberrant behavior on the part of the novel character. Murder or killing each other is an element of psychoanalysis. Conclusion. By using psychoanalysis criticism, we're capable to analyze what is the extrinsic element in this literary work. We choose this criticism because it is most related to the scene that's shown in this literary work. By the quotation that we have shown above, we can see that how was the main character Willem's psychological condition and how is the effect of his psychological condition that really affect to the whole story or conflict in this literary work. Okay, that's all for today, and we are very sorry if there are any mistake from our presentation today. Thank you for watching and see you next time.